Scientists have been warning that sea levels could rise by up to 6 feet by the end of the century. And like a lot of dire climate change warnings, the threat can sound vague and distant. But that's not the case on Tangier Island, 90 miles south of Washington, D.C. For this community of fishermen, the change has already begun. Arielle Duhaime-Ross went to see how.
We'd like to welcome you on board the Chesapeake Breeze. We'll be covering 18 miles to Tangier this morning.
Tangier Island is a remote fishing community located 18 miles offshore on the Virginia side of the Chesapeake Bay. Thanks to its isolation, many of the island's 500 residents can trace their lineage back to when it was a colonial outpost. But at only a mile wide and 4 feet above sea level, rising waters are claiming more of the island each year, threatening its future.
So these are restaurants.
Yes, these are the 2 restaurants on the island.
And right now it's essentially almost impossible to get there without getting wet.
It is impossible right now.
Dave Schulte is a marine biologist with the Army Corps of Engineers. He's been coming to Tangier Island for over a decade.
You've been studying Tangier Island. What have you found exactly?
I took a look at Tangier Island in the past, estimated its rate of land loss, and then I projected these with different sea level rise scenarios into the future. And in a nutshell, Tangier Island doesn't have a whole lot of time.
Because of its sandy foundation, Tangier Island has been slowly sinking over a century. But thanks to erosion and rising sea levels due to climate change, that process is accelerating. Since 1850, the island has lost 2/3 of its landmass. At its current pace, it could lose the rest in a fraction of the time.
The higher the water gets, the more land it can impact directly during every tidal cycle.
So the island is both sinking and being submerged at the same time.
Yes, that's correct.
This is climate change.
This is sea level rise happening right here.
Right.
Right now.
Carol Pruitt-Moore is 7th-generation Tangier. Some of her relatives once lived in the town of Canaan on the north part of the island. Today, only traces of that community remain.
I see bricks.
Well, these are remnants from people's chimneys and foundations back in the 20s. My grandmother lived up here.
The northern part of the island, known as the Uppers, also bears the brunt of increasing erosion.
How do you tell the signs of erosion?
See this point of land right here to this point of land, which is now underwater. That was land last year, so what, like 30 feet, 35 feet gone in between here?
From here to here, there was no water last year. It was land.
In October it was land. If we don't get a seawall, this is what you'll find on Tangier in a few years. Remnants of homes.
Right,
and
the area where you live.
Where I live, yeah.
Many residents believe that building a seawall around the island could buy Tangier some much-needed time. Though, with a $30 million price tag, that's a big if. James Ooker Eskridge has been mayor of Tangier for 9 years.
There are going to be people who are going to react to the situation on Tangier and say, this place is beautiful. There are only 500 people here. Is it really worth it to save the island?
I mean, we've been here for hundreds of years working the bay, and Tangier's a unique place, and it should be saved. It can be saved. If there was no possible way to save Tangier and the money wasn't available, we'd be more understandable. But the money is available. I refuse to become a climate change refugee. I mean, we want to do something about it.
As of now, Congress has not approved funding for the seawall. Without one, Tangier will run out of time.
The high range scenario, abandonment within 25 years. And that's everybody.
According to Dave Schulte, Tangier Island isn't an isolated incident. It's a sign of what's to come.
As climate change is impacting us, we're going to be making these decisions over and over again all over the country. Who are we going to move? What are we going to do? As a scientist, you're used to hanging averages on things, and you say they've got 25 to 50 years. But then you see houses like this and this road, and this needs fixed right now. Yeah, when you see fish swimming on your road, you got major problems, that's for sure.